What's up, guys? Today we're gonna create a new series on the channel where we're gonna essentially code a YouTube clone, and I will also show you how the different layouts will be displayed, and also talk about how to create them and how to think. So yeah, let's start with this. So essentially you come here to VS Code, and you also have to install Node.js and React, and I will post links in the description for you down below, so you guys can go and install the necessary dependencies. And what we want to do essentially right now is I'm just gonna close my terminal here and also close down Firefox. So what we want to do is open a new terminal here, and I'm gonna move this to the bottom so it's gonna be a bit easier for you guys to see, so you guys can see the terminal. And we want to install two dependencies to this project, and those are essentially Sass and also React icons. So how do we install them? Well, you simply just type npm I. Oh, it's a bit weird here. I'm gonna clear here and clear also here. Okay, so npm I or install React icons, or React dash icons actually. Dash icons. Yeah, so let's start with that. So we're gonna wait for it to install. Okay, great. I'm gonna clear the terminal, and we also want to install Sass. So it's gonna be npm I Sass. And what this is gonna be make us able to do is essentially code in another type of CSS language. It's called SCSS, or Sass if you want to call it. Okay, so those two dependencies are in fact installed. So let's go and type npm start to start our local client host. And when that's done, let's go to the Firefox, to our preview. I will also set up the coding and the preview a bit differently, so we have a larger screen to see, and you will also be able to see it in a much larger resolution, so to speak. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is just the normal typical base for React, and we're gonna code so it's gonna be looking like a YouTube clone or the YouTube layout, so to speak. So let's go to our programming and start our program. So before that, we actually want to remove some files here, and this is gonna be essentially setup.test.js, and also report web vitals, logo.svg, and app.test.js, because we don't need them. So remove these, and also setup tests.js. We don't need them, so remove these. Now we will obviously get an error, and for some reason our node it's fine. Terminal can be that big. That's totally fine. So as you guys can see, we get some errors, and those are in the source, and it's located in app.js and index.js. So let's remove these, and also this here, and yeah, that should be fine. So we should probably just have one error here right now, and that's totally fine. We're also reloading the client, and that's also fine. So what we want to do here is remove this header. So we're essentially removing all the baseline code for React, and remove the logo as well. So we do that and save that file. We will essentially see Webpack compiled successfully. Okay, and the screen here, if we go to Firefox, our screen here is totally white. So that's exactly what we want. So let's go back to the programming, and what we want to do, the first thing we want to do is essentially green to the source folder and create some folders. So we're gonna create a folder called components. We also want to create another folder in here that's called images, and inside of this folder here we want to create another folder called thumbnails. or thumbnail. Let's go with thumbnail, because we're just gonna use one thumbnail in this example. Okay, so inside of components, we essentially want to create some other folders, and this is gonna be, for example, the header folder, where the header is gonna be in, and we also want to create another folder called header2, because in fact YouTube uses two types of headers. So we're gonna create another header folder. We also want to create a sidebar folder where the sidebar is gonna be located in, and we also want to create a main page folder. Okay, there you go. Just gonna type main page. I will actually want to have a capital M here. So main page folder. Okay, nice. So we will start with the header, I think. So inside the header, we essentially want to create two files, and those are gonna be header.jsx and also a new file called header.scss. We can remove these. The node do we want to have? We don't want to have that. Okay, so let's create the lookout here. Now you can in fact install a dependency here called React snippets. I can actually search for it. Simple React snippets, for example. And if you do that, you can essentially type RFCE inside of here. And this will create the baseline code for a component, essentially. If we save that, that should be fine, no errors given, very nice. And the third thing we want to do inside of here is essentially just import the style file. And this is simple, you just type /header.scss, like that. And what we can do now is go into the app.js and import the header. So let's go and do that. We're gonna import header from, and then that's gonna be a string /components/header/header. And when we have done that, we can simply just type in the header. And if we check here, no errors was found, very nice. And if we go to Firefox, we simply just have a text here, which is called header. And that is because if we go to the programming and see where the header is, we simply just have a header. Very nice. So let's just code the infrastructure or the layout for the header. And it's not a lot of code actually, but what we want to do is essentially just have a div here with a class name of header. And we're gonna do everything in non-capitals because it's easier to code in styling when you don't have capital letters. So we want to name the div header. We also want to create a div with a class name of header menu, because the header is gonna have a menu, or header dash menu actually. Very nice. And inside of here we want to we also want to import some icons. But I will just create the different, you know what, we should actually import the icons first. So let's do that. We're gonna import rx hamburger menu from, and this is gonna be a string as well, and this is gonna be React icons dash rx. Let's see if we get an error. We don't, and that's fine. We're gonna import our rest of the icons as well, but we can actually just use the rx hamburger here, and this is also gonna have a size of 30, and end tag here. And as you guys can see, we don't have any warnings left. And if we go to the Firefox, we actually have a burger right here, an icon. We can't really do anything with it right now, but that's fine. So yeah, let's go back to our programming and go into the header and import the rest of the icons. So we're gonna import bs YouTube from React icons slash React icons slash BS. Just like that. We also want to import outline search, which is gonna be import AI outline search, and this is gonna be from React icons slash AI. We also want to import the video plus button, so we're gonna do import and this is gonna be bi video plus from React icons slash bi. We also want to import, and this is the last icon for the header, and this is going to be iOS notifications outline from, and this is gonna be brackets, not square brackets, because otherwise we will get an error. From string React icons slash io. So let's see if we get any errors. We don't, and that's correct. We have typed everything correctly, and let's continue with the layout. So beneath this icon, which we actually just used, we're gonna create a div with a class name of header icon. And inside of here, we want to have the BS YouTube and not the rest of this, because this is in fact wrong. And we also want to have a p tag, which is going to be called just YouTube. Just like that. And if we go to the Firefox capture, as you guys can see, we have in fact a YouTube icon and YouTube here as well. And as you guys can see, the YouTube icon is black, and we're gonna change that. So let's go to the YouTube icon and add a color to it. So this is just gonna be red, and we also want to have a size of 30. So if we go back to Firefox right now, you guys can see it's actually red. That's great. Okay, let's go back to programming. So after this, we will actually go down beneath header menu, because header menu is in fact done. I think, yeah, probably, yeah, it's done. So let's create the search bar, which the YouTube layout have, or the header YouTube header have. And this is gonna have a class name of search bar, or search box actually. And inside of here, we want to create an input that has a placeholder that's equal to a string, and this is just gonna be search. Add an end tag to that, and we also want to create another div below this input, and the name of the class is gonna be icon box, and this is gonna have an icon of AI outline search, and this is gonna have a size of 25. 25. And add an end tag to that. That's very nice. So let's go and actually style the personal menu. So let's create a div with a class name of personal menu. And inside of here, we want to have an icon, which is gonna be BS video plus, and for some reason BS video plus, it should be BI video plus actually, so I'm just gonna copy that. And this is gonna have some parameters such as size of 25. The color is gonna be gray, equal to gray. And we also want to have a class name of it, and this is gonna be personal icon. Okay, Now we want to have another icon which is called IO's notifications outline, and this is gonna have a size of 25. We also want to have a color of gray, and the class name is also gonna be personal icon. Personal icon. Nice. And add an end tag to that, and below this we want to just create an empty div with a class name of profile. And obviously if you want to insert your own profile, you would want to create an image just like this. I can actually show you, for example, just create an image with a source of just an empty brackets, and alt can be equal to my profile image, for example, image, and save that. And this will probably not give us some errors, correct? And if we go to Firefox right now, you guys can see that we have the icons for the start of the header. We also have a search bar and the personal icons here. And I will remove this image because I haven't created a profile image yet. So we will just have a background color for it, but you guys will see that it will probably work out in the end. So yeah, let's remove that image and carry on with the styling of the header. So remove this image here, and I will also collapse this div so it looks a bit better. So let's do that. Okay, so inside of header dot, we want to go and do the styling. So inside of here, we can just create dot header. And we want to have height of 56 pixels. And this is not going to be responsive because pixels is in fact not responsive. The width is going to be 100%, and this is responsive because we use the percentage. And the display is going to be flex. We also want a flex direction of row because everything is gonna be in one row. We also want to have align item center and justify content space between. So this will essentially space out the different elements in the header equally, depending on the div's width. And inside of here we want to have a margin of 0 because we don't want to have any let's say space between the actual web browser and the header element. Or yeah, exactly. And we also don't want to have a padding inside of it. We don't want to have a border, so the border should be 0. The background should be transparent as well, and the reason for that is because if you want to implement a dark theme, you can essentially just change one color in the background, and since every background is transparent, they will also change color. But we are not gonna implement that just yet. The position is also gonna be fixed as well, because we want it to be glued to the top. And I've just realized that my Visual Studio wasn't really the full size, so that's my bad. Okay, so inside of here we do want to have header-menu, and this is in fact the difference between CSS and SCSS, because you can use you can actually just type it inside of the header, and this means that we will style the second top header div. In this situation, header-menu is in fact that div. And inside of here we want to have display flex. Width is gonna be 10%. We also want to have a height of 100%. The align items should be center. And cursor is gonna be a pointer, and flex direction is in fact gonna be a row, this is the default state that I like to essentially code it out, so I know what type of direction I have on the flex on the flex. And we're also gonna have a margin left, which is gonna be 20 pixels. If we save that and go to Firefox, you guys will see that now we have moved the YouTube icon and the burger to the left. It looks a bit weird because we haven't really styled anything or styled it properly, but that's fine. You can also see that the search bar is in fact in the middle, or some sort of the middle, and the personal icons is to the right. And that is because we used space between when we used justify content. But anyways, so let's carry on with styling. So inside of this header dash menu, we want to type dot header icon. And inside of here, we want to have a display flex. We also want to have a width of max content. Max content. We also want to have align item center. And height of 100%. And the margin left is gonna be 20 pixels as well. Boom. And if we go back to the Firefox or the browser, you guys can see it looks a bit better, but this is obviously too close. And you also guys can see when I hover with the mouse, it's a pointer. So that's great. So inside of this header dash icon, we want to essentially just type P, which is going to be the P tag we're going to style. And in here we want to have a margin left, which is going to be 10 pixels. And we want to add a font family, which is going to be system, UI Apple. This is just a family of fonts. Depending on if your system have these fonts, it will essentially change depending on your system. And if we go back to Firefox right now, you guys can see it looks a lot better already, and it's also styled. Now, the YouTube logo have in fact a different font, but I will not use that font because of copyrights, licenses, and etc. I cannot program a directly looking equal YouTube clone, because that would be violating the copyright license that they use. So anyways, enough of that. So let's carry on with the search box then. And then we want to get out of the header menu, but being inside of the header. So let's do that. So below the header menu, we want to type dot search dash box. And inside of here, we want to have a width of 40%. We also want to have a box sizing of border box. We also want to have a padding, which is going to be 10 pixels and 0. We also want to have a margin of 0. We want to have a display flex here. We also want to have a flex direction of row. We also want height, which is going to be 70%. And we're going to add a padding left, which is going to be 1 rem. And rem is also responsive, so that's good. Now we want to type dot icon box, and inside of here we want to have a background color of RGB color code, which is gonna be 25,25,25. So it's gonna be a white one. The width is gonna be width is gonna be 10%, and the height is gonna be 100%. Okay. And below the height we want to add a border as well. And this border is gonna be 1 pixel, and be a solid and also have RGB color code, which is going to be 89, 189, 189, and 189, which is a darker white. We also want to have a border, and before we actually continue, I just want to show you how it's currently looking. So as you guys can see, we have created some borders around it, and we will style the icons and etc. more. But it currently looks like this, and this is totally fine. So let's continue, and now we want to style the different parts of the border to essentially create a border radius and remove some borders as well. So anyways, so we want to have a border top, and this is going to be 1 pixel solid, and also have this RGBA color code, so I'm just going to copy it. We also want to have a border bottom. Actually, we can just do this instead. Let's copy this border top here and paste it down below and change this top to bottom, because they are all going to have the same attributes. So we're going to top, bottom, and also right. Just like that. And now we want to change the different radiuses. So what we want to type in is border top right radius, and this is going to be 2 rem. We also want to say border bottom right radius is going to be 2 rem. And we also want to have a display of flex and align items center, and justify content center, so we center essentially the icon in the icon box, and we want to have a cursor of pointer as well. So if we save this and go to Firefox, so we'll essentially see this button here. And as you guys can see, we have changed the color of the border, and we also have rounded down the right edges. So that's exactly what we want, and now we're gonna style the input essentially. So let's continue with that. So below icon box, we want to just type input, just like that. Just like that, and the width is gonna be 90%, and the background is gonna be, in fact, or the background color is gonna be transparent. We also want to have a border of none. We want to have a padding left, which is gonna be 2 rem, and we also want to have a border. We actually don't want a border none here, so remove that. And we're also gonna have a border of 1 pixels solid, and it's gonna be a RGB color code, which is gonna be 89, 89, 89, which is the same color code that we used for the icon border. And we also want to change the edges and round them down, so we're gonna type border top left this time radius, and this is going to be 2 rem, and we also want to do the same thing with the bottom. So we're going to type border bottom right radius, and this is going to be 2 rem. We save this, go to Firefox. Maybe this is not the correct one. Top, bottom, left, right. Yeah, this should actually be right. Never mind. Wait, both. Okay, I'm just brain fogging right now, or brain farting. They're both gonna be left. I am just sorry, guys. Both is gonna be left, so that should be fine. And if we go to Firefox, as you guys can see, we have created a search bar. Now the different thing is that the height of this one is in fact 100%, and this one is not. So let's go and change that. So the search box should be in fact 100%, I think. Maybe that will work. It won't. Never mind. Interesting. Maybe it is the height is here, width is there. Let's change this to height of 100%. So this works. That didn't really work. Okay, so it's because this is 100%. This should also be 100%. Weird. This should in fact have the same height. Yeah. Let's carry on essentially. So as if we go to Firefox, we will essentially see a search bar looking like this, and the YouTube icon here with the icon and also the hamburger. And these icons here we will in fact style now. So let's go and do that. So let's go to personal menu, and it's not a lot of code here, guys, so don't be afraid. But we are gonna go outside of search box and type .personal menu. And inside of here we want to have a width of 8%. We also want to have a display of flex. We want to have align item center. We also want to have justify content center, or actually space between. Never mind. Space between. Padding is gonna be not parentheses. I've been coding too much Python recently. 10 pixels, and margin left is gonna be 2 rem. Nice. So if we go and check Firefox right now, we will see that the icons have in fact splitted. If I move my camera, I can move down to the bottom. You guys can see that the icons have in fact some spaces between them, and that's exactly what I want. I will continue with my camera down here when it comes to showing the display of the app. But when I program, it will be up here. So I think that's fine. So let's carry on with the programming and do the last thing styling we want to do, and then we will essentially finish this up for today. So .profile, and inside of here we want to have a width of 35 pixels. We also want to have a height of 35 pixels, and we want to have a border radius of 100% because we want to create a circle, and we want to have a background color of gray. This would essentially be if you want to have a personal image or a profile image. This is in fact where you should put your image instead of the background color gray. But for this tutorial, I will just use gray. And we also want to have .personal icon inside of personal menu, and the cursor here is gonna be a pointer as well. So when we hover the icons, it should be a pointer. That should be everything. And as you guys can see, we don't have any errors whatsoever, and that's really good. So let's go and check out how it's currently looking in Firefox. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have the search bar here where you can search. You can also hover this. We can add some more styling to it if we hover it, but that's something we will do later. We also have a burger here and the YouTube icon here and different icons here. We can't really press anything right now because we haven't really coded all the functions, but that's totally fine. And if you want to add a profile image up here, you can do that as well. You can either do it in the CSS or use an image in the HTML or JSX code. But that's all for today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then great. Please stick around because I will upload more episodes of this series in the future, and I will also try to improve it as well. And have a great evening, everyone.